We start project risk management practical experience in applying project risk management concepts. This assignment is to test the project risk management and uploading video. And this is our team. Task 1, select the project identification of the risk monitoring and controlling plan, keys of success criterions. Introduction is supposed to say the supposed of the safe motherhood invades who making a pregnancy safe strategy program that focuses on the Somali Health Secretary's contribute to reduce the maternal and newborn death. Integrating of management pregnancy and agile development indicating this concept of the performance strategy and the main of the following. Background: the assignment will select on a health training project named the Gynecology Training Program for communicate midwives to apply project risk management. The training program for community midwife will include theory, practice, and field experience. The duration of the training is 8 months, from May to December 2020. At the end of this training, will be guaranteed a certificate, and the total of the budget cost for training is $50,000. To address this high level of maternal and fetal mortality in Somalia, so the aim at contributing midwives through a quick start and rapid experience approaching insurance skills at the birth. Training design. The training design program will have to be designed in a modular way so as to enable the candidates to complete specific modules and also to understand the training program. So in case of long leave situation, the candidate can always come back and complete the remaining modules. These include the use of eloquent lecture and design for the transmission of knowledge, case study for the detailed decision of cases which always train for to follow access students in a clinic decision making skills, role play for the practice considering interpersonal communication skills, automatic model which providing focus, learn guide, checklist, clinic drills. Our program objectives. The program objectives is to train 35 midwives proving newborn care service, post care, health, education, and family planning, which is the aim of achieve a substantial outcome by reducing the maternal and newborn mortality and morbidity, fighting against the invisible and other mortality complication related to the laboral, reducing FGM related complication and practice, increasing awareness about the family planning. Our outcomes of a training. Our outcome ensuring that when the Parentis requires special care. There should be the efficient reference system. I'm here to call my colleague Ahmed.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I am Ahmed Abubakar Abdul Wahab, student Open University Malaysia, and I am semester 1. I'm going to identify risk. Before identifying risk, we have to understand what is risk. A risk is defined as uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has either positive or negative effects on a project objectives. A risk is anything could potentially impact your project timeline, performance, and budget. We get our teams together and we identify a lot of risks and enter them in a document in order to analyze each risk and effect in the program and the impacts of the program. So here are the most common projects that could threaten your project timeline: scope and time, risk schedule, risk cost, and resource risk. Project risk management. Project risk management is described as the process that accompanies all phases in a project life cycle, from project definition phase throughout the project close phase. The main concept of risk management is therefore central to all aspects of a project. Project risk management, we can say, is the process of identifying, analyzing, and responding to any risk that arise over the life cycle of the project to help the project to remain on track and meet its own goals. What are the process of risk management? The process of risk management is the following. Before start anything, we start to evaluate all our projects and all the possible risks. After evaluating entire risk comes from the training program, we make planning of all risks to contribute project success by establishing list of internal and external activities. So this plan typically includes the identified risks, probability of occurrence, potential impacts, and proposed actions. After making plan of risk in our training program and place all risks that encountered the training program in one place, it allows us to be proactive and take steps and mitigate possible harm before they arise. After that, the project team can take risks they have been identified and convert them into actionable steps that will reduce likelihood. So these steps become contingency plan that helpful can aside. Techniques that you can measure in the risk management. Effective risk management strategies allows you to identify the project strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. By planning for unexpected events, you can be ready to respond if they arise. To ensure your project's success, define how you handle the potential risks so you can identify, mitigate, and avoid problems when you need to do and know factors used to select which techniques you will use in order to measure problem of the project program depends on number one, problem complexity and methods needed to analyze them. Number two, the nature and degree of risk assessment uncertainty, so that's based on the amount of information available and requirement to satisfy objectives. Number three, the extent of resource need in terms of time and level of expertise, data needs or cost. Number four, whether the method can provide quantity or output. These are the techniques that we use to measure in our risk management. Lastly, risk identification. These are the possible risks in this project. Number one, political or security situation. Number two, infrastructure resignation. Number three, fund delays. Number four, cost overrun. Number 4, financial management. Number 5, cost of run. Number 6, commitment of stakeholders. So these are the possible risks of this program. And now I'm going to call my colleague Abdel Fattah.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Let's continue. After identifying all possible risks of our program or our project, we want to prioritize the risks on all of our possible risks of our program of the project. After that, in order to prioritize, we have to measure the risk and the impact of the risk. Since the risk has two components, that means risk is equal to probability or the impact. Probability means the chance that this risk can occur, or and the impact, that means that is if this risk occurs, how it affected the risk, or how it affects the program of or our project. This is risk probability scale. That means we level it and give it a number in order to measure the risks or all possible risks of our program in order to prioritize them. Probability scale. So measure the risk impact assessment. So if risk can affect our scope, it's noticeable to change, and it is assessment impact is very low or low, medium, high, or very high. There is another one that is risk assessment matrix, that are the seriousness of risk, that's equal probability times the impact of risk, that we give us the assessment matrix that possible for us to prioritize our risks. Prioritizing the risks, we suggested that we should stick the risks that we have 5 up to 10% chance of having. If it's lower than that, you might have to pick a list. The first possible risks that can affect our project or our program, and the one who has the highest rate is fund delays. The probability that fund delays can occur is 0.5, and the impact or the effect of this risk is 0.9. That means if fund delays probability or chance of occurring is 0.5 and the impact it has our project is 0.5, means the rate of this risk is 0.45. That means it's almost likely to occur. There's another risks that may occur, but the impact or their rates is very low. Financial management, that risk that can occur our project, but its rate is 0.35, or instructors or the trainers of the program, since the program focus on the training midwives of health sectors in Somalia, so that instructor resignation is another risks that have a rate of 0.9, and political insecurity situation that has 0.7, and commitment of stakeholders that has a rate of 0.5, and cost of run that's changing can occur in the costs of the project or the program that have an impact of 0.1. Monitor and controlling. The final piece of information that completes the risk is a risk response plan. Now, we have identified the triggers that allow us to quickly identify when risk has occurred. The response plan gives us or gives you head start in the response. Some response occurs at the beginning of the project when the risk plan process is taking place, and or other occurs when the risk event occurs. Still, other occur at any applicable time and applicable during the project. There are many ways to control and monitor project risks, but we prefer to use risk register. That is the itemized list of most important risks, and it becomes cornerstone of the risk management plan. it requires careful consideration of project risks and what could affect the project critical success factors. Risk response plan, therefore possible risk response plan of the events or any risks. You have four options that you can respond the risk, your program is risk or the project is risk. The first one is to avoid, the second one is to transfer, the third one is to mitigate, and the fourth one is to accept. So that we use risk register, that we use it to identify and describe any possible risks of our project and description of the possible risks of our project and the category of the risk, so that the location that project that the risk can occur and the probability, impact rate, action plan, and responsible, the one who is responsible to take action when this risk occurs. Successful criteria. Early studies in mid-90s linked to the project and project success to the triple objectives of time, cost, and quality. As one Abdullah et al. 2006 claims, it's important to differentiate between project success and project management success. DeWitt claims, or DeWitt suggested, that seems to be among the first to note that project success is measured against overall objectives of the project, and project management success is measured against the traditional measures of performance against cost, time, and quality. Successful criteria of the project is the schedule, cost, stakeholder satisfaction, quality, and performance. Also, there are top 5 factors that found in successful projects. That are, the first one is user involvement, or how the users of this program take part in this project. The second one is executive management support, how the executives or the stakeholders of this or the managers of this program or project support the project activities. And the third one is clear statement of what of this project is required, or the requirements of the project. The fourth one is proper planning of the project in order to execute effectively and efficiently in this project. And the last one is realistic expectations, what we expected or what we wanted to reach when we wanted to execute our project. Thank you very much. That's it.